When the world's highest peak meets human error, even the smallest mistake can become a death sentence. Today, we're diving one of the Everest's most haunting tragedies. From a tiny buckle that wasn't secured, these aren't stories of avalanches or storms. They're stories of human decisions in the unforgiving death zone. Marty Hoey was no amateur. At 31, she was one of America's most respected mountain guides. She'd summit Mount Rainier over 100 times. She was strong, careful, and trusted by everyone who climbed with her. In spring 1982, she joined an American expedition attempting the unclimbed north face of Everest. If successful, Marty would have become the first American woman to stand on the summit. Marty Hoey, born in 1951 in Washington State, she fell hard for the snowy peaks around her home. Mountains weren't just pretty views to her. They were challenges, friends, places where she felt truly alive. By her 20s, Marty had become one of the best climbers in America. She worked as a professional mountain guide for Rainier Mountaineering Incorporated, a top outfit led by the legendary Lou Whitaker. Mount Rainier, that giant volcano rising over 14,000 feet near Seattle, became her second home. She climbed it more than 100 times, yes, over 100, guiding clients up its icy slopes, teaching them how to use crampons and ice axes, keeping them safe in blizzards. She also led tough expeditions to Alaska's Denali, the highest peak in North America, and even far-off ranges. Marty was strong, careful, and kind. Teammates trusted her completely. She didn't show off. She just got the job done. But deep down, she had a big dream: stand on top of the world. Mount Everest, 29,029 feet high, the roof of the planet. No American woman had ever summited. In the early 1980s, that record was still wide open. In 1982, Lou Whitaker put together an American team to try something bold: climb Everest's unclimbed north face from the Chinese side. It was a tough, dangerous route, steep ice, rock, and no easy way out. Marty was chosen for the team. At 31 years old, she was one of the strongest climbers there. If they made it, she had a real shot at becoming the first American woman to reach the summit. The thought made her heart race. This was her chance to make history. The team flew to China, trekked to base camp, and started the long, slow climb. Marty carried heavy loads, fixed ropes, laughed with her teammates, and pushed hard every day. She felt ready. The mountain felt close. The higher they climbed, the harder it got. Past 18,000 feet, the air thinned out. Breathing felt like sucking through a straw. Past 26,000 feet, the famous death zone, your body starts dying slowly, even if you sit still. Brain fog sets in. Fingers and toes go numb. Every step burns energy you don't have. By mid-May 1982, the team was high on the north face, moving toward Camp 6 at around 26,000 feet. They used fixed ropes for safety, long lines anchored to the mountain so climbers could clip in with a carabiner and harness. If you slipped, the rope would catch you. It was the only thing between you and a long, long fall. Marty was paired with Jim Wickwire, one of America's toughest climbers. He'd later become the first American to summit Everest from the moon. They were hauling gear up a steep section called the Great Couloir, a wide, icy gully full of loose rock and snow, tilted at a sharp 45 degrees. One wrong move, and you'd slide forever. The two moved carefully, roped to the fixed log. Marty carried a heavy pack. Her legs were tired, her mind foggy from the altitude, but she was still sharp, or so she thought. Climbers in the death zone double-check and triple-check everything. Harnesses especially. You thread the strap through the buckle, pull it tight, then double it back through again to lock it. Miss that step, and the buckle can slip open under pressure. That morning, May 15th, they were inching upward. The sun was bright, but the wind bit hard. Marty and Jim took turns leading. At one point, Jim needed to pass her on a narrow path. Marty did what any polite teammate would do. She leaned back slightly against the fixed rope to give him room. That's when it happened. In that tiny lean, something gave way. The buckle on her harness, the metal piece that holds the strap secure, had not been doubled back properly. Maybe the thin air had slowed her fingers the night before. Maybe exhaustion made her miss it when she clipped in that morning. It was a small mistake, the kind anyone could make after days without real sleep or oxygen. But on Everest, small mistakes become huge. Click, the buckle popped open. Suddenly, Marty was no longer attached to the rope. She felt it instantly, the sickening looseness. No tug of security, just her boots on slippery snow and rot. She tried to grab something, anything, but the slope was steep and loose. Gravity took over. One slip, and she was falling. Jim Wickwire turned just in time to see her go. 1 second she was right there, leaning back. The next she was sliding, tumbling, gaining speed down a great pool. He shouted her name, but the wind swallowed it. Marty fell thousands of feet. Some say 6,000 or more, bouncing off rocks and ice, disappearing into the dark shadows below, into a crevasse or over a cliff edge. No one could see exactly where she landed. It happened so fast. No time to throw a rope. No chance to stop her. Jim stood frozen, staring down empty slope. His friend, his strong, careful teammate, Marty, was gone. The rest of the team heard the radio call. Shock spread like ice. They searched with binoculars, but the mountain had swallowed her. Her body was never found. Everest kept her. Marty Hoey's death wasn't from a storm, an avalanche, or bad luck. It was human error, a buckle not fastened right. In the death zone, your brain doesn't work like it does at sea level. Judgment slips, fingers fumble. Even the best climbers, like Marty, with all her experience, can miss a tiny detail. That's why guides preach, check, then check again. She wasn't reckless. She was one of the most careful people on the team. Lou Whitaker and others said she was in top form, ready to summit in a day or two. If not for that one mistake, she might have stood on top, planted an American flag, figuratively, and come home a hero, the first U.S. woman on Everest. Instead, her fall reminded everyone, Everest doesn't care how good you are. It waits for the tiniest slip. The team was heartbroken. They lost their only woman, their friend, their powerhouse. Some wanted to quit, but they pushed on a little longer, honoring her memory, before the monsoon forced them down. No summit that year. Back home, people mourned. Marty was only 30, turning 31 3 days later. She left behind a legacy of guiding hundreds safely up Rainier, inspiring women climbers, and showing what grit looks like. A memorial stands today in Gig Harbor, Washington, honoring her and another Everest climb. Her story lives on in books, films like the documentary Everest North Wall, narrated by Robert Redford, and the hearts of mountaineers who still climb Rainier and think of her. Marty Hoey's story isn't just sad, it's a warning wrapped in inspiration. Everest has taken many lives since 1982, often in big, dramatic ways. Storms, avalanches, falls, and crowds. But Marty's death was quiet, personal. One buckle, one lean, gone. It taught climbers everywhere. Check your gear like your life depends on it, because it does. Harnesses today often have auto-locking buckles or bright warnings to prevent exactly this mistake. Guides drill it into new climbers, double back. Every time. Marty also showed what it means to chase a dream fearlessly but responsibly. She wasn't chasing fame. She loved the mountains for what they were. She guided others, shared her skills, and climbed with heart. For American women in mountaineering, she was a pioneer. The first U.S. woman didn't summit until later, Stacey Allison in 1988 from the South Side. But Marty's attempt opened doors. She proved women belonged on the biggest peaks. Today, when climbers clip into a fixed rope high on Rainier or Denali, some pause and think of Marty. They double-check that buckle extra carefully. They remember, the mountain is beautiful, but unforgiving. Marty Hoey didn't reach the top, but her story reaches us still. It says, dream big, climb strong, but never forget, the smallest mistake can steal everything. In the end, Everest didn't beat Marty Hoey. A single forgotten loop did. And that's the heartbreaking truth of the highest place on Earth. If this tale of haunting mystery moved you, push that like button, subscribe for more true adventure stories, and comment below.